Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Below the Line, the show about how movies are made. My name is Andres, and I'm here with my good friend, Mr. Zach Houston Scott. I just fumbled that intro, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. And no, that's okay. You can fumble it. I'm here to pick up the pieces. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good. It's a beautiful sunny day in Vancouver. And yeah, we're back to our regular format. You in Mexico, me in Vancouver. And this is
Or
probably how
wherever
it's
I am. We've recorded this from Casablanca, New York, in the middle of an airport. We've done this like from so many locations.
we really have coming
Hey,
on
but
almost a year of doing it.
yeah, but hey, maybe next year we can make a Golden Globe push because Amy, what's her name? She won Best Podcast at the Golden
Oh,
Globes. Uh,
I forgot
Will
that was a category.
Will Arnett's ex-wife won a podcast award, and they put that on TV before they put Best Score. So I guess podcasts are more important than film scores and film
Yeah,
orchestra. So
good hang with Amy Poehler, huh?
yes, that one.
They didn't want to nominate the Joe Rogan Experience. They didn't want to nominate like even these selections. I'm just googling it right now. What
Those
a
were the industry friendly podcasts.
yeah.
Hey, Below the Line is pretty industry friendly. I guess I'm officially starting our push for being nominated and considered for the 2027 Golden Globes. So please, Golden Globes Association Foreign Press, please consider Below the Line. We would be honored to be nominated.
I mean, I don't want to say anything that could ruin our chances, so I will be quiet about it.
Hey, a nomination is a nomination. It still looks amazing on our IMDb page.
I suppose, yeah. Well, with the Golden Globes, Kim and Pass, yeah, I wasn't really happy with a lot of the choices personally.
Like,
Hamnet winning best drama. I thought that was a steal from Sinners and Frankenstein. Um,
true. I'll tell you what, I agree, but I always knew that if they wanted, even for the Academy Awards, I think PTA's film One Battle After Another one seems like the most likely one to win. But I think this might be the Academy's last chance to give Steven Spielberg a third Oscar and for producing. So I think that's in the cards as well. I mean,
yeah,
what I'm saying is when you have Sam Mendes and especially Steven Spielberg as your producer, those are big hitters, in the industry. They don't control, but they sway a lot of how people vote. So I'm not surprised Hannah won. And it's a Chloe Zhao film, and the Academy and award circuits love her. So
for
uh,
some reason they should show her Eternals, and that'll change their tune.
remember that film saved lives,
Oh,
Zach.
apparently it was the first sex scene apparently in the MCU, but I thought I saw one in the first Iron Man. But that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah, maybe closer to Doomsday.
Yeah. Then like cinematic and box office achievement. That's such a nothing award. That's like just a
That's a
pity. Like
petty award.
it's a petty award, yeah, because it couldn't like this was the only thing Sinners won for when there was so many other
I
opportunities.
think for the Academy, it is possible that Ryan Coogler wins Best Original Screenplay because here he got defeated by PTA, but PTA adapted a book. So maybe in the Academy, he will get one Oscar for that. But I don't think Sinners will be a Best Picture contender.
No.
It might be, frankly, I think it's fourth or fifth. Like, I think PTA has it on the back. I think Hannah is second place. I think third place is between Marty Supreme and Frankenstein, and then the rest of the movies are kind of scrambled in the following order.
That I agree. That is the only thing I will say with this awards is one battle after another was deserving of most of its awards.
I
I can't
think
justify
so
best
too.
supporting female actress.
I think so too, but I think they really need to change their marketing push.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but as a film, I think it is very deserving. But it's also a very clickbaity film, if you know what I mean.
Nope, that I understand and that I get. But yeah, that's just our quick recap of the Golden Globes. So that was me. And then yeah, let's talk about what we've been seeing lately because it's been a couple of days now since our last.
Well, since we last recorded, not since our last episode.
Well, yeah, recorded. Yeah, like we do
Yeah.
this weekly, but it's been a while since we recorded. So yeah, catching up on January and the movies that we've been seeing. I'll go first because I've seen a couple over the past little
Sure.
bit. Um, First up is Sony's Anaconda. I saw recently.
The remake that it's not a remake, but it's not a reboot, but it's not a sequel.
It's a meta film. It's like it's set in the real world, kinda, but it's also a sequel-ish, reboot-ish to the Anaconda series. Like they acknowledge that film happened within the universe, but no, yeah, it was very interesting. It definitely was trying to play to the crowd that probably like Jumanji, I think, since like okay, to me there's two
Yeah,
camps of
yeah, yeah.
Sony IP franchising that they do. There's the one where they have too much creative control and they make changes during edit, where you get something like Ghostbusters 2016 or Men in Black International or Amazing Spider-Man 2, where you could tell this was like executives were making the shots. But then you have these ones which just go and think outside the box, like 22 Jump Street and Spider-Man No Way Home, for example, and Anaconda to an extent where they can kind of go balls to the walls and basically talk about the company and
Hmm.
acknowledge it. And this one does fall in that camp. But I will say, unfortunately, it doesn't work too much as a comedy or as a horror because it tries to juggle both. And let me be fair, I've not seen the original Anaconda. I didn't even know this was a franchise. The fact that it made a bunch of sequels in the early 2000s is mind boggling to me. So for me to go into this fresh and seeing like essentially it as a new IP, it was a good time, but it wasn't as funny as it could have been, and it wasn't as scary as it could have been. Like the horror just kind of dropped after the first bit when they're in the jungle, and then the comedy just started coming up toward the end, which I've never seen a movie do that before, where all the funny stuff happened towards the end, but all the serious stuff was at the beginning. So it was interesting.
Yeah, I think Anaconda. I don't think it was marketed as a horror film per se. I think this was supposed to be a Jack Black comedy or a Jack Black film. I think what I would praise the film is it's a I wouldn't say a love letter, but it is kind of like a love letter to the love of filmmaking, to the love of you become in love with filmmaking with your friends, and that is an aspect that I think as careers get older, it is harder to capture that level of innocence in your craft. And I think the film tries to speak to that regard, and I think that is where the film has the most credit in terms of where it works and it doesn't work. It is an IP, Zach. I have seen the original with J Lo and Ice Cube, um, but it was, as far as I remember, apparently it's been like 20 years since I've seen it. It was meant to be a low budget, just like film, where there's like a giant anaconda that kills people. But it's not really a horror film per se in that aspect.
Yeah.
But I think as a film, it does work, but it's not a masterpiece. It makes sense. It's a December film.
Yeah, like something around the Christmas. Like I really do think they were trying to get that Jumanji crowd, and
For sure.
it has like the chemistry or the like humor that those movies had, or even the budget. Like it doesn't have a rock to kind of centralize it. You're stuck with Paul Rudd in kind of a goofier role than Jack Black, which I thought was a bit off-putting. And then like Steve Zahn is in it, and I guess Jason Biggs makes a cameo in it too. And
Ice
it's
Cube.
funny, Ice Cube, of course. But it's funny though that it seemed to me more like a Saving Silverman reunion than an actual Anaconda reunion. Like,
Well, the thing is, I don't think people associate the IP with a sense of nostalgia, if you know what I mean. I'd be curious to see what they do in the sequel that they clearly try to set up, uh,
mhm,
and how they actually make the movie inside the movie inside the movie.
that would be funny. That'd be pretty meta. It would give Scream a run for its money.
Because, like, the sequel they set up is like it's going to be the movie about the movie inside the movie, and that's interesting because it potentially could make more budget. Like, I love the aspect of we're going to make a movie even though we don't have the rights, because like everybody has done that. I mean, so I think that's a cool aspect of it.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I just wanted to talk about it quickly. I
Yeah.
don't think this is as good either as his other Jack Black's other film about making movies, Be Kind Rewind. I
No, no,
think
no.
that's a way better movie and it kind of celebrates being an independent filmmaker more. But honestly, as a studio driven like IP resurrection, this one is pretty good. I definitely
Yeah,
say check it out or wait until it drops on streaming to see it.
on Netflix. Yeah, I also think that the jokes they make are very industry related. Like, for example, the fact that, oh, you guys went into production without a finished script. That's so bad. That's like a joke that only people that are so heavily invested with the film industry laugh about because it's true. Hence the newest Netflix documentary about Stranger Things and the fact that the Duffer brothers didn't have a final script. Uh,
Don't get me started on that, please. Shaking
well,
my
I only will say is I think that documentary made them look worse, and I guess Paramount must be sweating. Hopefully, they do find a career and they don't become like the new Dave and Dave. What are the names? D and D from Game of Thrones, whatever.
all the
Because
guys from yeah.
yeah, because I mean, somewhat the finale of Game of Thrones and Stranger Things parallel very well. It was just very interesting to see them direct, and their directorial style completely different to Sean Levy and Frank Darabont. And I won't say who is better because I don't think I am allowed to say who is better. But I could tell when the actors were more comfortable with certain directorial choices. And I
Mhm.
thought that was fascinating to see. And the fact that Netflix allowed this to come out, it's just fascinating.
It's the same thing that happened with Frozen 2, and it's behind the scenes. We're starting to realize more and more that they're going so fast and they're trying to make these movies that they're not necessarily finished,
Writing.
or they're just something isn't working, or they're getting test audiences involved. It's just it's very sad. It's sad to see, and I mean, maybe it's a lesson. Just you get too big, and it goes back to my original point that this series. I know we talked in great detail about Stranger Things, but since that documentary came out, that they had no plan to finish it. They knew exactly they were just playing with us to try and
They didn't.
make it up as they were going along. This wasn't a Star Wars where there was an outline. This is straight up, oh, we were only meant to be one season and we were just delaying it because it was popular. So
No, they did not knew what to do. I mean, I think it's also funny that the writers of the show were like, wouldn't that be crazy if that didn't happen? And it's literally one of the plots where people complain the most. And they were like, yeah, you're right, but we're not going to do it when we write this thing. I
yeah.
just think that's so funny that somebody point out the plot hole that half of the internet plot pointed out. And they were like, yeah, we'll forget about it. It was just that sequence in the documentary. I just cannot believe Netflix released that. Either it's to save Netflix skin or they didn't realize this was going to make them look bad. Because in the documentary, they say, we got to finish it well, we got to set up everything, we got to pay off everything. But then 5 minutes later, they would be like, well, is 11 dead? Is 11 not? So it's like, is it setting something up or finishing the story? So they kind of contradicted a lot in the documentary themselves.
Absolutely. No. It really painted a bad light in their favor. But yeah, I guess moving on from that, I last week also saw the movie Primate
The first one of 2025. Well, actually,
2020.
not really. I saw the Daisy Ridley zombie film.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Did you?
we don't bury the dead, or we bury the dead.
We
It was
buried the.
fine. It was fine. Honestly, it was a New Zealand or Australian film. I think it was Australian, and she works well. It's not really a zombie movie. It's like a road trip movie where there happens to be zombies that are not really aggressive. But her performance is fine. It's nice to see her outside of being Ray Skywalker or Ray whatever.
Ray Palpatine, Ray
Yeah,
Palpatine.
Ray Ray Kennedy for Kathleen Kennedy. By the way, she's out of Lucasfilm, but I don't know if that will help Lucasfilm. We'll see. We'll
Uh,
talk about it later
yeah,
in another
that's a
episode.
discussion. A lot happened
Yeah,
this week.
yeah. But yeah, it was a fine movie. I would say if you want zombies and you want to see Daisy Ridley perform, see it. If not, you probably won't miss a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's good. No, I saw Primate, and honestly, as first films of 2026 go, I really enjoyed it. Like, it's literally as advertised. It's a monkey killing a bunch of kids. Like, I don't have anything else to say about that. It's literally as advertised. It goes insane, and you're basically
Yeah,
just.
that's a simplified
That's all I
version.
can say. It's literally just that.
It's a weird film. It's well done. I mean, the director made the last Resident Evil film. He's a good director when it comes to horror. I
Yeah.
just think the film, it's a perfect genre film. I just think in a year we won't remember it came out, if that makes sense.
No, of
Uh,
course. It's going to be that probably small film you remember like years from now and think, oh, yeah, that was a thing, and then move on.
like,
Honestly,
go, go, go.
I'm surprised this premise hasn't happened really much. Like, we have only one other one to compare it to, that, or two technically, from Nope, where that monkey from the sitcom killed the family.
Hmm?
And then Monkey Shines from George Romero. So,
Well, this
yeah,
is Cujo, but with a monkey.
pretty much. Yeah, it's just
I mean,
Cujo.
the director said it that the main inspiration was Cujo, but he wanted to do it with a monkey. And again, I think the more you think about the film, the less sense it makes. Like the fact that it has Tony Kushner, an Academy Award winner.
Yeah.
Half of the film, I guess, it works because he's deaf, but like he's also the worst dad of 2026 so far. Like he's in the middle of signing books, he realizes that the monkey has rabies, and he doesn't call nobody. Meanwhile, the kids are floating in a pool. And to be fair, that was real, but did you know that monkeys can actually swim?
Yes. Oh, yeah. No, I definitely can. Like, they're humans, basically. That's what they are.
But rabies means that you are afraid of water, so that's why he couldn't get into the pool.
Interesting. Hmm.
Apparently, rabies is hydrophobia. So people with rabies, or I guess animals with rabies, I mean humans can get it too, are afraid of water.
Hmm.
So if you ever find a dog that has rabies, just jump into a pool and he won't get you.
Jeez. That's funny.
Which I guess connects us well to our next movie, since those humans technically have rabies.
They do. Yes. So, as we're recording this, I just came out of seeing 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, the sequel to 28 Years Later that got released earlier
Last
in this.
summer.
Yeah. So, just a quick recap. I didn't mind 28 Years Later for the most part
Hmm.
until the very end, which I thought went so over the top, so ridiculous that it kind of spoiled the movie for me. So now we have
Yep.
a follow up that's basically taking that endpoint and trying to make a sequel or justify why that happened. I'll let you go first to kind of describe it because I personally think before we started recording, we were talking, we might have differing opinions on this, and I'd like to hear what you think about it.
So, okay, I'll give you my thoughts. I think it's a way better movie than the first movie. First of all, I'm glad that Nia da Costa did not shoot this in an iPhone.
Yeah.
Like you can tell that this was shot with an Arri Alexa because the image looks sharper, crisper, and I mean, outside of being shot in an iPhone, the first one didn't really needed to be shot on an iPhone. It was kind of like an Apple gimmick. To be honest, I'm surprised this was not in Apple TV movie
Mhm.
because like why shoot it on an iPhone? Like it made no sense. Like yes, you had all these cool angles you could cut to, but what was the point from an emotional standpoint?
But
Um,
to Danny Boyle's credit, just before you continue, he is known for kind of doing those kinds of films
experiments.
experimental. He's like Richard Linklater, where he can kind of get
True,
away with trying different things. They don't always
true.
work, but I will give him credit that he was trying something with 28 Years Later that didn't pay off necessarily, but it was worth a shot.
True, but I just think if you're gonna shoot with an iPhone, put the camera somewhere creative. I don't think any of the camera angles were like you can only get these with an iPhone or a GoPro or a camera that you can throw and break because it's a $1,000 camera, right? Like
Yeah,
I don't think any of the camera placing or angles were particularly innovative. They were just like, oh, this was shot on an iPhone, and I think that's where the film also struggled the most because the sensor is not as capable as film or digital. I think the film looks better, but I think the story, I don't know where it's headed, if that makes sense. I think Nia da Costa spoke and said that the first film was about fear, and this was about the evil, and the next one is supposed to be about redemption. Uh, but I don't know. Like Jake O'Connell's character has no background whatsoever to understand his way of life. And it's not like he's a particularly good leader when it comes to protecting his group. He's not like Negan, if that makes sense. Or
yeah.
um, I just think the film works because of Ralph Fiennes. Without this film and his relationship with medicine and with the alpha from the first one, this film would be a complete mess. And I think you know which sequence where he goes full Lord Voldemort
Oh yeah.
saves the film, and it's a fantastic performance by Ralph Fiennes. But without Ralph Fiennes, the film would not work. So I would just call it 28 Days Later, Ralph Fiennes. To be honest, I would have rather seen Ralph Fiennes and forget about the kid from the first one and the other characters.
Which, yeah, and to be fair, it does justify why they were filmed back to back. This does feel like the
Yeah,
second half of a complete story that the first one was setting up.
absolutely.
Were some characters missing? Yes, but I actually didn't care about them. Like, I didn't care that Aaron Taylor Johnson wasn't in this
I
film.
forgot he existed,
Saying,
to be
oh,
fair.
100%, because that kid, Alfie Williams, just carries it. The fact he got top billing this time, between him and Ralph Fiennes, who it is criminal this guy still hasn't gotten an Oscar or some sort of award validation.
He has not.
It's funny because this is the second movie he's saved, kind of. Like, I remember when Matthew Vaughn directed him in The Kingsman, he was initially the
Holy
star
moly.
in the first half, and then he became the action star in the second. I'm like, wow, he saved this movie from being awful. Like, it's still a bad movie, but that second act where he takes command after his son dies is just, wow, big difference. But I do agree with you about the whole being shot in an actual camera. This does feel more cinematic. It feels grander. And honestly,
Yeah.
it helps a lot of those shots with the cult, especially to make them terrifying. They looked ridiculous with that iPhone shot camera. I couldn't even, but now they're a legit threat. They actually built upon the premise of it and doing research as well too about like what they're basing it off of, like this cult that's like there's an English broadcaster, Jimmy Savile,
Jimmy,
that
yeah.
they
That's why they're
con
called Jimmys.
exactly like that's brilliant for them to use that infamous like guy who was had all this recognition but now is like a fallen legend because of what he did in life. That's just brilliant. Like there's just so much of it. And honestly, I'm gonna sound a little controversial here. I thought her direction just swept like what
Of
Danny
course.
built in the
Of
last one.
course. Of
Like
course.
he did great in the first, like, I want to say 15, 20 minutes for the opening, but then the film just landslide after that. It couldn't recover. This one from the beginning just keeps going. And the fact that, you're following more with Ralph Fiennes' character, I can't remember his name, and just his
Dr. Ian
struggles.
Kelson,
Kelson, yes. And
aka
the fact,
Lord Voldemort.
yeah, when he goes over the top, you feel it. Like, why didn't we follow this character from the beginning? He's a million times more interesting. He's a lot more like questioning his faith to everything, and there's just so many more layers that this one has to offer than the
Yeah,
predecessor.
I think the subtext is way better. I mean, it's like that's the part that frustrated me because I think his character was way more interesting than the cult. Like, yes, I agree. It's interesting that they follow. He was manipulative and making these people follow him and do cruel stuff, but like, there's also no reason why he did it. Like, in terms of, there's that first scene from the first movie where he's a kid, and then we jump to the end of the last movie, and now he's the main star, right? The leader of the cult. But we don't really know much about him. And I've sort of felt with Ralph Fiennes, we knew what he wanted, which was to honor the death, be peaceful, but he also had like a scientific way to describe the epidemic, which was psychosis, right? And that was very interesting. And the relationship that he forms with the infected was also very interesting. And I hope they are able to bring that to a close in the third one. Like, I think it would be very interesting to see what they do with his character, but because I don't believe he's out of the picture yet. I think
No.
he's going to be like a hybrid zombie or something.
Yeah. Well, without going into spoilers, this movie does set up a third one, and I think it's kind of
What's
what
supposed to
people.
be a trilogy
Well,
from
yes,
the
no, of
start.
course it was supposed to be, but they never filmed the third one because they wanted to see how well these first two movies did. And I think with this one, kind of like how I wanted Last of Us 2 to set up a third one, which
Oh
continues, this is
boy.
the same thing. Like, I thought, okay, the first one disappointed, but this one makes me want to see where it's going. And when they do show one of the characters come back, again, if you follow along, you'll probably know who. I
Well,
am
it's also not a secret.
it's not, but I am excited to see this character again, especially because this actor has gotten so big that he's able
Just say
to.
his name. He's an executive producer.
All right, Killian Murphy.
Yeah.
He's uncredited in the film too. Just
But he's an EP.
yeah, I know he's EP, but I mean his performance is uncredited.
Hmm. I didn't notice.
Yeah,
But I
so
mean, good for him. He came back for a SAG day and he's an EP. So he'll be back for the third.
yeah, no, he will. And I like they do grow the kid. No, there was just a lot more. Like, I really hope this film does well. It is a little crazy that we've had all these good movies come out in the month of January. And we're
Two zombie movies.
oh yeah, two zombie movies, and we're getting like another horror film in a couple weeks with
Silent Hill.
Oh, and Silent Hill. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So no, just really good January. Like, I don't know where these movies decided like, oh, we want January to be good. It's like, yeah, they are really good.
Who who would you have direct the third one if you're an executive? Nia DaCosta, Danny Boyle, Alex Garland, or someone else?
I would think Garland deserves to direct the third one. Kind of
Okay.
making a trilogy with different directors, and he's proven himself to be a great director with
Okay.
his other movies and
Civil War, yeah.
Warfare, Civil War, just
Ex Machina.
yeah, Ex Machina, Annihilation. That's an underrated one from him.
Eh,
Did better,
yeah. I
but
mean, if he doesn't agree, I think Nia DaCosta should stay.
yeah,
It's better than the Marvels.
it is. Oh yeah, there's definitely less executive meddling, and this was also a Sony film, so
Yeah.
yeah, maybe they're learning to stop interfering with filmmakers and just let people go out and do it.
They might be the only studio alive by the end of the year.
Or you think
Like,
Disney's going under?
no, like a traditional studio in the sense that it's not a massive corporation because Sony is the only studio that has no streaming service.
True. They made a deal with Netflix
Netflix, yeah.
this week to basically give them the rights for first streaming. So films like Spider-Man, Brand New Day, The Legend of Zelda,
Yep.
um, Jumanji, The Social Reckoning, all those movies are going to be going to Netflix first. But honestly, it makes sense considering K-pop was such a big hit for them.
Who
And
knows if that deal might get broken when they try to finalize the Warner deal?
well, yeah, we'll see. We will see how that turns out because
Because
that's
at
all
that
up in
point,
fan forums.
it's a monopoly.
Yeah,
Unless they say, well, we're gonna give the Marvel films to Marvel so they can be in Disney Plus or something where they can sway the deal and make it like, well, it has actually clauses or something.
yeah.
But we'll see.
But no, I was very happy with this film. I'm excited for the third one now. They definitely after the last one. It honestly, I will say too, this film does make 28 years later better in my opinion. Like to me, this is kind of like
It's the
when
same film. It's like they part two. I just don't know where the story's headed. Although, yeah, I want Ralph Fiennes to come back.
yeah,
He has to come back. He has
he
to.
does. He does.
I think at this point, it would be criminal not to have a scene between him and Killian Murphy.
Yeah, like the two standouts of both franchises.
British acting,
Yeah,
even. I mean, both of them are British, and I think Ralph Fiennes. I just love that sequence where he is just allowed to become an actor. He's just a very good actor in that sequence. I loved it.
same. No, it's criminal. This guy needs some kind of like big award soon because
I'll give a hint. If you like metal, and you know a certain pattern of numbers, then you'll know which song the sequence takes place with. It was on it was on Guitar Hero 3 if I recall correctly.
yeah,
That song, right? Was it in
yeah,
it
it
was
was.
in Guitar Hero 3 in like the Satan section, I believe.
If
So now I've told you a lot of cues and hints, but what would you be your score out
I
of?
had to rank this one,
Mm-hmm.
I would rank it probably 4 out of 5. It really surprised me. I was very, very impressed with. I liked it a lot better than the previous film. Like it really was worth sitting through the setup to get to
Yeah,
this stuff.
I also think it was shorter, so that also helped.
Oh yeah, no, the fact that it was like I think 20 minutes shorter helped a lot. Like it was just honestly
It
it
was
allowed
well
itself to
paced.
breathe.
Yeah,
It allowed itself to breathe.
yeah. I would give it a 7 out of 10. Ralph Fiennes. I love that. Let's
Yeah,
turn it
it
to
was
11.
necessary.
Yeah,
But yeah, so next week for movies, I guess all we do have is Return to Silent Hill. Depending if it plays, I don't know. I might have to go to the Rio or the Park Theater in order to
I don't know
watch.
if that plays here. Also, congratulations to Warner, Netflix, Peter Jackson for 5 million at the pre-sales for the Lord of the Rings uh, reunion or re 25 anniversary.
Seriously? Oh
Yeah,
wow!
it made 5 million on pre-sales for this weekend, so it might be at the top of the box office.
I
Actually,
I'm not surprised because a lot of people, myself included, didn't watch the Lord of the Rings in theaters when it first came out, and especially the extended cuts.
wow, that's like a 4 hour experience.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
definitely. Would I go and watch it in
yeah,
theaters? That cut.
I would.
I know you would. I can't justify it a little bit just because it's so long, and I mean, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say with that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what next week's looks like. But you want to sign us out?
Sounds good. He's Andres Ramirez. You can follow him at Jaro2096. I'm the Zach Houston. We're both on Instagram with our podcast handle below the line underscore podcast. And yeah, thank you for listening or watching us as always. We do this every week. We're on Spotify, YouTube, and all
That's it.
your favorite access points for all sorts of access to the The wonderful
podcast.
world of podcasting. Yes, I was
Okay.
getting to that.
I know. Well, bye bye.
Bye.
That's a cut.